today in Woburn. We're going to talk about fireworks today, which are really important, of course. We're also going to connect with Mayor Concannon, as we always do. But before we do any of that, I want to touch base about something that is really fun and exciting for teens in our community. And I want to welcome Claire and Aubrie from the Boys and Girls Club. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us today.
I am really excited because I was talking with Julie the other day. Julie Gage, some of you may know, she heads up the Boys and Girls. I should say most of us probably know you. Hopefully you've had a chance to interact with her. And she was telling me about this program and I got really excited because I think it's an incredible opportunity. Claire, why don't you tell us a little bit about what the ACE program is all about?
Absolutely. So ACE stands for Advancing Career Exploration. And what this program is targeted for is for members to start planning for their futures and then giving them that foundation and the tools to get started. So we cover a variety of things that'll help them in their life right now, that'll help them when they need jobs in 2 years, but then that'll also help them when they're graduating high school and they're not sure what the next step is. We're trying to give them all of those life skills so that they are ready to start thinking about their next step and planning.
I love it. And Aubrie, in between doing some of those things that are preparing for a future, they're doing it in a fun way. Tell us a little bit about some of the activities that happen during a typical day.
On a typical day, we'll do some of our regular summer camp activities like swimming every day. We'll get breakfast, we'll get lunch, we'll do community builders, we'll do resume building, we'll do tie dyeing, we'll do some fun things for teens, some fun things that you think of when you think of summer camp, but we'll also do those things that help them get ready for having a job in the future.
I love that. And Aubrie, one of the things that I really was impressed by is that Boys and Girls Club has been very smart about the fees for this and has worked to get grants and sponsors and things to cover a majority of the cost. So this is a really, really affordable program. Tell us a little bit about what that is, what the fees are.
Yes. It's a 5-week program, and the program costs $125 for that 5 weeks, and it includes breakfast and lunch. So,
That is a deal.
yeah.
Get your teenager out of the house, learning something to prepare for their future, and it's only going to cost you 25 bucks a week. That's actually really incredible. Claire, remind us what the dates for this year's program are.
Absolutely. So we will be starting on July 8th and ending on August 9th. And there will be 2 field trips a week and guest speakers every day.
That sounds amazing. Can I sign up? I kind of want to go see what I want to be when I grow up. Aubrie, where can families register or learn more about the program?
You can learn more about the program on the club's website at bgcwoburn.org. There's a whole page all about our teen programs and our summer offerings.
That's fantastic. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us and telling us about this really incredible program. I hope a lot of people take advantage of it.
Thank you for having us.
Hello, welcome, Mike. We're so glad to have you as always. Appreciate you joining us to catch up on city business.
Hi, Samantha. How's it going?
Good. We just got out of an interesting meeting because, sometimes we talk about really, really long-term projects. And we were talking about one today, and there'll be lots of opportunities to have the public involved. But I thought it might be fun to just give a little sneak peek of what we were talking about today downstairs in engineering.
Sure. So we had an update meeting on the status of the downtown traffic improvement project. It's an idea that's been kicking around for a while. Fortunately, it's an opportunity for the city to capitalize on federal and state funding. So we're talking about a traffic safety improvement project for downtown Woburn, fully funded by federal funds administered through the state. It takes a while for these things to come about, and we are at the point now where we are approved, and it's upwards of $20 million that will be coming into the city for much needed improvements downtown. The downside is that it's going to take a little while for it to actually happen. We're talking about fiscal year 28, 29 into 30, actually, before you start seeing things happen. So we are in the planning stages now. And to your point, we had a meeting downstairs where we're planning the next steps of gathering input and beginning a design. And it's important, obviously, that we take into consideration the thoughts, the opinions, the ideas of the residents of Woburn, of the business owners downtown. So we have a rough idea of what we'd like to see happen, but of course it matters what those folks would like to see and would need to see for this to be an actual improvement. And it's also important to note that because this is federal money administered by the state, there are certain requirements and guidelines and expectations that come along with that money. We think that there's nothing we can't live with. We think these are improvements and they will benefit the residents of Woburn, but there are going to be some things that we will have to deal with and adjust to in order to get that money. Again, I feel positive that the outcome of this will be terrific for Woburn, and we're at the beginning of the process. But I think when all is said and done, you'll see a great improvement in terms of traffic safety, pedestrian safety, all modes of transportation safety. You'll also see a much improved access to the common, which right now we don't have. And then hopefully a net increase, maybe not dramatic, but a net increase of parking and an overall better flow all around the common, which we hope may lead to a reinvigoration of downtown in general, which might cause business owners and property owners to spend a little bit more of their money because they see the positive results of a traffic improvement plan.
I love it. And as someone, you and I both sit on the common every day, and we hear a lot of the horn honking and the near misses. And so this is a really needed improvement. And I know it's going to be it's a long process, but I'm excited that we've secured so much funding outside of city budget to help us achieve this.
Yes, it's a real big deal. And there's a whole lot of communities fighting to get access to this money. And we're very fortunate. And now we have to make it happen. And again, a big part of that is getting feedback from the residents, the business owners, and the people who just travel through downtown to figure out what will work best.
Yeah, excellent. We had, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. We had some backup of yard waste over the last couple of weeks. We know that there were some unpleasant disruptions that has caused. We did an alert, but I know not everybody gets the alert. So I thought I think we're mostly caught up at this point, but I thought it'd be helpful to just give you a moment to kind of reflect on what happened there and what is going on now.
So first I'll say we appreciate everyone's patience. You know, we have a rubbish recycling and yard waste removal operation that works very well in Woburn. And we're very fortunate. A piece of that is the yard waste monthly collection. We encourage people to do it. We're glad that they do. And it's unfortunate that when there's a glitch, the yard waste remains at the curb longer than everyone would like. So I would like to say we appreciate everyone's patience. There was a sequence of events that occurred and included truck breakdowns and unfortunately a couple of our vendors' employees taking ill with the heat. And it happened at the same time and led to a perfect storm of issues that caused the delay in the yard waste. We've been working with our vendor, Waste Management, through our Board of Health for the last week and a half to try to catch up. I will say that Waste Management has been cooperative. We're overall pleased with their attention to the issue. And we do appreciate the Board of Health working with the residents to accommodate all of the needs. As of this morning, I feel like we're almost all caught up. There may be a couple of one-offs here and there. We would encourage those residents to call the Board of Health and let them know, and we can get somebody out there to take care of that. So it's one of those things that happens when you've got 41,000 people living in a community and 15,000 places that have to be picked up, and something like this happens, and it does set us back a bit. But by everyone working together and being patient, we were able to get through it, and hopefully it's it's a glitch for now, but we don't see it again anytime soon.
Yeah, thank you for that update. I think we definitely have heard from a number of folks today that it was cleared up. So hopefully, if there was anything missed, please, as you said, reach out to the Board of Health. They're there to help and make sure that that gets resolved. A little bit of fun. There's been a bunch of outdoor movies nights that are family-friendly films that have been posted to the website from Woburn Rec, and it's always fun to talk about something to do, entertaining, get the family outside having some fun.
Yes, and I know we kick off tonight. I don't know when this will air, but tonight I'm looking at my list. I think it's Trolls.
It is
The
Trolls.
movie Trolls. I'm going to swing by on my way home tonight just to check it out. I know when in years past, when the kids were younger, we went down there. It was always a lot of fun. It's a great family environment. And there's a series, I think there may be, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them throughout the summer. Recreation runs them for us. There's some pretty cool movies on the list. Again, all are family friendly. There's no concerns about language or the nature of the film being presented. So everyone should be able to have a fun time. Looks like a beautiful night out there tonight. So we're really happy that Recreation makes this happen, and it's just a great time for families.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the schedule is available on the Woburn Rec site, but also on the city website calendar as well. So we encourage people to check those out. We also have scheduled our next town meeting. So we held one a couple months ago. It's great to get feedback from folks. The next one, we're holding in a slightly different place. Wanted to give you a chance to mention that.
Yeah, so this one's going to be on August 14th at the Senior Center up in North Woburn. I think it's 4:30 in the afternoon. Trying to mix it up a little bit and make sure that everybody has a chance to attend one of these and ask a question if they'd like. And we thought the Senior Center was a nice venue for that. The transportation at the Senior Center will accommodate the needs of the seniors who want to attend. And we said we will keep doing these town hall Q&As as long as people see value in them. We've had a couple already, and we've had some great questions and some good sized crowds. So I look forward to the next one, again, August 14th in the afternoon at the Senior Center, and we'd encourage anyone who can make it to come on out and ask their question.
Yeah, thank you. And we are definitely hosting at the Senior Center so we can accommodate transportation for folks with the van, but it is open to anyone in the community. We hope because it's summertime, we know people's schedule is a little bit more flexible than perhaps otherwise. So we're hoping lots of folks will be able to join us there as well. We've had a couple of people write in asking questions. So we know that there's a number of union contracts that are up for renewal across the city. I thought it'd be a good chance to just check in on where we are in that process.
Yeah, there's 6 or 7 contracts that expire at the end of June. So we have begun the process with most of those unions. It starts out with preliminary meetings with ground rules and providing lists of requests that become the subject of the discussions. Our team here is led by our HR director, Shauna Healy. Also on it is our city solicitor, Mark Salvati, and our auditor, Charlie Doherty, as well as the particular department heads who may have specific knowledge helpful to the contracts being discussed, how those contracts are implemented on a daily basis, and what improvements might be made to them. So that group has begun meeting with several of the unions to have those preliminary discussions. I have set out some guardrails, some basic parameters for which I think those discussions, could involve in terms of dollar amounts and particular language I think might be beneficial to the city. So we've had our marching orders meetings, and now the team is out meeting with each of the unions to try to begin that process. Obviously the goal is amicable, respectful, professional discussions where we simply talk about how to satisfy the needs of the city, the residents, the taxpayers, of course, as well as the union members themselves. I have optimism that things can go smoothly. I think everybody is realistic about what's a reasonable amount of money that can be included in these contracts. So I am optimistic at this point that we will have a professional process that will play out over the next several months, and we'll reach amicable conclusions to each of these contracts.
Excellent. Thank you for that update. I appreciate it very much. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about capital budget. So in the last city council meeting, the capital budget passed. You did make note during the subcommittee meetings and those meetings that there may be additional school building costs and things that come from the building committee work that's being done around our schools. Just thought it'd be a good time to kind of check in where that committee is at in their process. We know that is a very long-term plan that they're helping to build.
Yeah. So there's a few pieces to the answer to that question. The first is, I know people are aware that we recently concluded the operational budget process for the entire city for FY25, including the schools and all of the city departments. So that process has been completed, and we have a budget ready to go for July 1st. That's operational. Second piece is the year-to-year, we call it the pay-as-you-go capital budget, which pays for the things you'd expect, the DPW trucks, fire trucks, ambulances, maybe some improvements to buildings in terms of windows or roofs or things like that. So that's the pay-as-you-go capital budget. We have the bulk of that approved and ready to go. On the city side, we have a few more meetings to happen with the schools to finalize their piece. And then that'll go before the council. And then there's the longer term piece. Specifically with the schools, it's the school building ad hoc committee that has been meeting. Their main mission was to review the study that was completed by DNISCO. It was a facility survey of all of the school buildings, assessing their current needs and projecting forward a path on how to finish the job of bringing all of our schools up to speed. The two that come to mind are the North Woburn School, Alta Vesta / Linscott project, as well as work to be done on the middle schools. And I think the ad hoc school facility committee that was formed has been meeting probably since February, reviewing that DNISCO report and trying to figure out the path forward. I know that we have a couple of city representatives on that committee. Councilor Joe Demers is on there, as well as the auditor, Charlie Doherty. They've been meeting, and I think they're narrowing down the information they've received and working on that path forward. I would expect some sort of recommendations from that committee by the middle of the fall, maybe late fall, and then it'll be up to the school committee, city council, and of course the mayor's office to determine what's the most appropriate path forward to try to implement some of the recommendations made by that design study. And again, because those are larger projects, it's not operating, it's not pay-as-you-go capital, it's more long-term bonding kind of projects. And of course, when we're talking about the schools, we're usually talking about some sort of reimbursement from the school building authority, the state school building authority, upwards of a half or 50% or thereabouts to pay for the cost of these new school facilities. So again, I would expect some sort of summary or recommendations coming out of that ad hoc committee, mid to late fall, and then we'll need some time between the different bodies to digest that and figure out how to make that happen.
Excellent. Thank you so much for all your insights today, as always. And next up, we're going to go out with a bang. We're going to talk all about fireworks with Jodi Crowley.
Very good.
Welcome, Jodi. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, it's so nice to be here.
I'm very excited that you're here because you have compiled a list of some of the local fireworks for your newsletter. Before we talk about some of the things that ended up on your list, tell our audience a little bit about the newsletter and where they can get a copy.
Oh, absolutely. They can go to North of Boston lifestyleguide.com. And I live in Woburn, love Woburn. Woburn's where my husband grew up, his family grew up. So a lot of Woburn content is in the lifestyle guide, in addition to surrounding towns. And on that website, they can sign up for a weekly email of local events, and it's a hand-picked list every single week. I'm out there looking at things. Oh, what we enjoy. What would I have loved to take my son to when he was younger? What would I enjoy going to personally? What would, you know, some of my friends and family, what kinds of things would they enjoy going to? So it's a hand-picked list every single week. Woburn, a lot of Woburn events are in there, again, because I live here and I love Woburn, but surrounding towns as well. And then if there's kind of some big things that I think might be interesting to people here, a little further out, sometimes I'll stick those in as well.
That's fantastic. And for those of you who are watching traffic go by, don't worry, I'm pulled into a parking spot. I'm completely safe. I'm not actually driving, even though it may look like it. But I was really excited to get a chance to talk to Jodi and want to make sure we get this in today. So Jodi, tell us, what were some of the nearest fireworks locations that people might want to check things out? Because as we know, Woburn does our Flag Day Festival, which is a lot of fun, but that's our fireworks for the summer here in Woburn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the full list is, what I did is I pulled the fireworks that were $4.95 down, and then a few fireworks that were on the coast, because some people like to see the fireworks over the water. So definitely Wilmington has some fireworks, Lexington. The tricky thing this year is because the 4th of July is on Thursday, there are different days. So the fireworks in the local areas actually start July 29th and go through the weekend after 4th of July, which is, I guess, is kind of fun. You could go to a few if you wanted to, right?
I love that. You can go check it out all over the state.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a broader list as well if people want to look, you know, west or south. Obviously I put Boston's fireworks in there. But there's a larger list if people wanted to go further. There's Boston Central has a large list. People could go to that. But on the lifestyle guide, I focused on the towns closer by.
Have you ever been to the Boston fireworks?
Yes, many years ago. You know, Dave, when he first brought me up here, one of the first summers up here, we went, and I decided I would never go back again. It was just too chaotic for me.
That's sort of how I felt about it. I one time had tickets to watch from the top of the Museum of Science. We were members, and it was one of the things that membership offered, and that was lovely, but it's a little too chaotic for me. But if you like busy, there's nothing
True.
like listening to the music and the avenue in Boston, but it's definitely a lot of work. You mentioned Wilmington. Brian Richard also was kind enough to send me a little list with a couple of little tips for some of the places you might have listed. He mentioned Wilmington is June 30th this year. Brian mentioned that Wilmington has 2 displays, the second of which is larger. So you definitely make sure to hang out, that they're kind of famous for their 3.5-minute finale. So that's good to know that you can get a 1-2 punch there. I also think I saw lots of carnival rides when I was driving through Wilmington yesterday. It looks like they're setting up for a big festive activity. So lots of good stuff to think about. Somerville's on June 27th. Lexington is also very well known for their fireworks. So check out Jodi's list. Have some fun this 4th of July. There's lots of great stuff that we can partake in, not too far from home. If you like big crowds, do Boston. If you like things a little bit more modest, staying a little closer to home might be your best bet. But whatever you choose, we hope you have a ton of fun.
Happy 4th of July.